Welcome to Gunners Are Us, where we are positively Arsenal.
And that we are.
Woo!
And somehow it continues.
Just about.
I'll say that.
I think that match just ended.
It's just, I'm going to be honest, that match genuinely ended about 10 hours ago.
Yeah, it was a marathon. Yeah.
I've slept since then.
Yeah.
It was hard to sleep, though, I must admit, because mixture of tiredness and adrenaline will do some weird stuff to him.
Shaky boys.
And that was definitely for the trailer, that one. We are obviously, as always, live on TikTok at the Gunners Are Us podcast. We've got a couple people jumping in. Mr. Fish throwing in some numbers. Joe's just joined, which is interesting.
I'm here.
And a couple others. So hopefully people will join us over on the TikTok. We'll answer some of those questions or any thoughts about last night's game with Porto. We do actually need to talk a little bit about Brentford last week, simply because I did a bonus preview to the Porto game that dropped on Monday. And I purposely didn't go too deep into Brentford and the title race. I just wanted to talk about Porto. So we kind of need to jump a little bit into Brentford, a little bit into the title race. But because it's fresh, I think we'll start generally with Champions League. Then we'll jump into the title race, and then we'll jump into Prediction League to end it. So probably about, I don't know, we'll even them out at some point, straight away, okay, this is a big talking point. Jack in the chat says thoughts on Arteta talking about the Porto manager's family. So if you haven't already seen this, the Porto manager, Conceição, has said that Arteta said some remarks about his family, and one of them isn't with us anymore. The only thing I would say is Arsenal have obviously denied it, but the Porto manager has done this before. He's done it with Atletico Madrid's manager, I think it was Simone at the time, back in 2018, where he said something about my family after they lost to Atletico. So I don't know if this is something that either is lost in translation between Spanish and Portuguese, or whether it's something that he just does when he loses. But I mean, for a manager who, after the first game, said they came to play, we came to win, called Arteta a novice, said we beat Benfica 5-0 while they're beating rubbish teams like Burnley and Sheffield United 5-0, which is derogatory towards the teams in the Premier League. And then their captain, I think, this week said something about the fact that we've never won Champions League, they've won 2. To do all that, and then if you've watched the games, the poop housery, which is the PG way of saying what I want to say, they had every trick in the book.
Yeah.
Slowing the game. It was the slowest, fastest game I've ever watched. It was just so slow. It was just old school football, trying to, make it bitty so that you couldn't get any kind of rhythm. And again, that's their way of playing. Good on them, because this is the same as when Stoke played in the Premier League. I'm not saying they're better than Stoke, but I mean, use what you've got and make it work for you. And they nearly did. They snuck a win at at their ground.
Yeah.
We only got one here. It was a real tight game. But I mean, what they did was good, but to not shake Arteta's hand after all of that and then start claiming all these things just seems like sour grapes.
Yeah, I think Porto played both legs perfectly for Porto. I think they did exactly what they needed to do. I was quite impressed with them overall. All the weird bad blood stuff aside, albeit that adds to it, because I think that helped them bring a little bit of bite to the game. I was really impressed. A lot of their players, they worked hard. They were very positive and confident on the ball, considering they were playing away in the Champions League to us, and our recent form. But where do you think the bad blood came from? I don't really understand how it all came about. I don't know if it's just part of their game plan.
I think it is game plan, because I think you find this type of thing with Atletico. I think that type of manager, Arteta, is a little bit like it. You kind of create this bad blood to create a kind of motivation to kind of do what you need to do.
Well, a lot of people on the outside of Arsenal don't necessarily like Arteta much. They have a lot of opinions about Arteta. But inside Arsenal, we love Arteta.
Exactly. And I think he's rallied them to make them think, they think they're the best. They're in the Premier League. They're top of the league. They think they're back. Whereas we've won 2 Champions Leagues. They won nothing. And again, Porto are a great team.
They're very good.
They got great history. They're a great football team. There's a reason why the last 6 teams that have knocked out Porto have gone to the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Over the last 6 times Porto have been in the Champions League, every team that knocked them out went to the final.
That's a good stat.
It is a good stat, because we got to break that stat if we're going out.
Yeah.
So But again, it shows you they are such a stubborn side. Now, again, when we drew them out of 16 teams, you kind of put middle of the pack, ninth kind of awkwardness, eighth awkwardness. I think it was a little bit higher than we thought. Because when you look at things like Barcelona winning 3-1 against Napoli are 4 favourites.
Yeah.
And I mean, they dispatched them quite easily. And that would have been a horrible tie. If you're Barcelona, you got Napoli, you thought, oh man, that sucks. Like, this is not like the ideal round of 16 opponent.
Yeah.
But because teams like that play so open, it becomes so much nicer for the teams. For example, we're not, unless Atletico somehow get through beyond Inter tonight, there is no chance we're going to play a team that play the way Porto did over 2 legs.
I don't want to see that ever again. That was no fun.
Because, we might not win against, Madrids and Munichs and all these teams, but every single team will try to play against us.
It'll be competitive.
And every time someone tries to play against Arsenal, that benefits Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy about that because now we can have a 4-3 over 2 legs with Madrid or something. But it won't be like watching that where you're like, God, we can't even get the ball.
Yeah.
And when you do get the ball, last night the game was 130 minutes total, I think, with extra times and stuff. The ball was in play, I believe it was 61 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Which is, again, below 50%. And I talked about this on the preview pod, that Porto were going to do what Brentford did and how Arsenal this year in the 5 games that have had less than 50% of the ball in play, we've been in 2 of them. No one else has had more than 1 game.
Yeah.
And it wasn't us doing it, if you know what I mean. So again, we do take time on our corners to set them up, things like that. So we do contribute to it. But to see the way in which I reckon every single player went down, and they do it on their own volition. So, their own players push into their own players
or kick.
Yeah, and then just they all fall down, and all the Arsenal players are thinking, what's just happened? Like Havertz was just standing there, like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But again, that's their style.
Yeah.
Styles make football. Styles make fights. You know what they say.
I mean, they could have won. Like, it came down to pot luck with the penalties.
Totally pot luck.
By doing what they do, I'm going to liken it to how I would play Fortnite in the early days.
Yeah. You're a bush guy.
You get you do a couple bits at the beginning. You get in a bush. You get yourself to the You get yourself to the top 2.
Hope I can find that for the trailer game.
You get yourself to the top 2, and then you hope you can just get a win by throwing some like explosives in there or something. Like and that's what they wanted. They were hoping. They stayed in a bush, and then the penalty shootout was them throwing explosives at the final guy.
Yeah,
and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, they played for penalties. They got penalties and they lost, and that's why I think the reaction after was so heated. But I think I've spoken to a couple of our friends, a couple of people that were watching it, and everyone kind of just said the same thing: that was just a proper old school early 2000s Champions League knockout quarterfinal.
Well, even the fact that it was Porto and Arsenal.
Yeah, you think of when Arsenal went to the final, we played Juventus and we won 1-0 over 2 legs. We played Real Madrid, we won 1-0 over 2 legs. We played Villarreal, won 1-0 over 2 legs.
Yeah.
They're awkward tie, like Villarreal in the semi-finals. You think, oh, that's,
doable.
It's a doable one, but then you play it and you're like, bloody hell, this is awkward. Like they're so they make you uncomfortable, and those teams need to be in the Champions League to kind of make upsets happen.
Also, Porto aren't they're doing okay in their league, but they're not like top or anything. So this is what they're playing for.
Yeah, they've overtaken Benfica now. They're behind Sporting.
Yeah, and but they've got to throw everything at the Champions League. That's the thing.
That was their one, this year, and they're a really good side defensively. No one's scored. Conceded less than them in the Portuguese league, and no one conceded less than Arsenal in the Premier League. So you kind of expect 1-1 over 2 legs with the way they are. We score a lot of goals, but so do they. So I think it kind of cancel each other out. I think on paper everyone thought, oh, it's a breeze. I think if you watch the 2 legs, you realize how good Porto are.
Yeah, especially Wendell. The job he did on Saka last night was unreal.
Someone said it in the chat just a second ago. Saka ghosted. I thought last night was the quietest I've ever seen Saka and Rice in a game. I don't think they had bad games, but I don't think they disappeared or the occasion got to them. They just weren't in the game. Whereas people like Kivior and Ben White just worked so hard for 120 minutes.
Kivior was getting better and better.
Kivior has been unreal, and Odegaard, I thought, was man of the match comfortably. Obviously, Raya with the saves, really good. Really bad day for week for Ramsdale. Yeah, making a mistake and him Raya doing the thing he can't do, which is save penalties. And
but them showing that unity at the end, like by hugging and Ramsdale congratulating him, that kind of shows it's competitive. Like they know their place, they know what they're playing for.
Well, we said it last night. That do you remember the narrative they were trying to push across? That they were like show Ramsdale every time Raya was on, and they can't do it because you can tell they get on. Ramsdale loves the team. He loves the club. Of course, he has to move because he's not going to get ahead of Raya. And I think we can see that this week. We've kind of learnt a lot about. I'm a big Ramsdale fan. I think you are as well. Simon as well, who's usually on the podcast.
Not just as a player, as a person. Like he has the personality I want from a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You want those crazy.
Yeah, like Lehman was.
Yeah, like Joe Hart was a bit like that. Like you want goalkeepers are crazy people.
They are, and I must admit, I like Raya. I've always been I understood what he was doing because when you think of Man City, when Pep came into Man City, he went for about 3 keepers. Before he found Edison, and he went to I think it was Bravo and a couple others. And you can almost see the exact kind of mirror that Arteta's done with Arsenal because even Pep's first 10 signings were all pretty much defenders.
Yeah.
Arteta's only really signed defenders. He's trying to find that exact formula of player that he needs to do that style because you saw it against Brentford. The minute the goalie can't do what Raya does, the build-up play stops.
Yeah.
And it happened last night because there was certainly a nerve to Arsenal last night that I've not seen in a long time, that when the balls were going long, because they were essentially just hitting into the channel and hoping we'd mess up.
Yeah.
Again, throwing clingers into a bush, I mean,
that's exactly what it is.
Throwing clingers into a bush.
Hoping for the best.
Hoping for the best. And they were because you usually, you watch Saliba, he'd take it down on his chest, he would spin on the spot and knock it out to a fullback.
They look confident usually on the ball.
Yeah, Gabriel would take it down or you'd like hook it clear. They were trying to like let it bounce and try and header it out just of like throw-ins and stuff.
Well, they were even headering it
back into the midfield.
Back into dangerous areas, which those guys would never do.
And it was almost like, I don't want to try and hook it clear or make a little play that's going to cause us, that little bit of, uncertainty. And Porto are so clinical. Like once they do get in, they're good.
Yeah, they've got shots on them.
They're really like very similar. I'm trying to think of a Premier League team. They're very similar, almost Liverpool-like. They win the ball up high, and then it's very decisive. 2 or 3 passes, and then there's shots away.
Yeah.
But and like obviously that was getting to them. The fact that we haven't won a knockout, like we were talking about last night. Last time Arsenal went through in a knockout, Saka was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
I was 18.
Yeah. I was 25.
Yeah. It's surreal how long, Saka, since he's been in Hale End, he's never experienced the team he plays for winning one of those.
Well, a lot of the kids in the crowd last night as well. Like anyone up to the age of
even 25, because if you think about it,
you were too young to
young to remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was so important. There was so much on it. You could see by the celebrations afterwards. It was almost like we made such hard work of that, but we've done it. We've done that thing we didn't know we could do. It's almost, do you remember when we beat City?
Yeah.
It was almost like a weight off their shoulders.
Like a relief.
Oh, we can do this, by the way. Like, as much as we didn't think we could do it, I think we can actually do it.
And that builds confidence. It builds confidence not only in the players, but in us fans as well, because we go into a lot of those games, even City in a couple of weeks. Yeah. I'm assuming we're losing. But the way things are going, I don't know. Like the confidence is building. Quickly on
sorry.
Yeah, apologize for any coughing and sneezing. We're both
not well.
It was hard work yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Ramsdale. Do you reckon as a part of Ramsdale? I know he probably should be starting for someone somewhere.
That he might stay.
Should, like, in his head, can he not see a world where he stays? He has to play number 2 to Raya in, like, obviously Champions League and Premier League. But does he see himself forcing himself back into, like, Carling Cup, FA Cup, and just accepting that he's that guy?
I'm going to answer that question, but I just want to read out something that just came on TikTok, which was, I'm 25, and my first Arsenal proper memory is us losing the Champions League final.
Wow.
So that's crazy because, when that happened, I was 16, and I don't fully, I remember watching the Invincibles things out as a kid, but I mean, as you get older, you kind of, you forget that era of your life a little bit because it's just, so long ago. So that's wild that that's your first proper memory of the Champions League.
It's crazy. Time's moving.
I agree, because I think Ramsdale is a competitor. And I think in his head, he might actually be thinking, could I dethrone him again?
Yeah.
I know, again, he's inside the inner workings of, training. So he might be thinking, I can see exactly what Arteta wants.
Yeah.
I cannot do it. I will never play at Arsenal under Arteta because I can't do what that guy does.
Yeah.
But again, also, we haven't got to the summer. Could Brentford now go, do you know what? We want 60 million for Rare.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal go, we can't do that. So we have to go looking somewhere else. Then everywhere is 60, 70 million. Then they go Ramsdale. Are you ready to go again? We don't know. Like there's a lot of things that
we can't afford for that to happen now.
We can't. I think Raya has to be Arsenal's.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is an obligation to buy. If anyone in the chat knows, I can't remember if it was an obligation of 27 million,
Yeah.
3 million loan.
Yeah.
But I do. As far as goalies go, Ramsdale strikes me as someone who might actually think, I want to fight for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you look at it, if he's going to go elsewhere, the teams they're talking about, Newcastle, he's going to play second fiddle to Pope.
Yep.
So what's the point? You might as well stay where you are. Chelsea, so he doesn't have to move house. They've got Sanchez, the guy that's playing currently, that I can't remember his name, but I mean, they like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might play first. But I mean, if he makes one mistake, the way Chelsea works, Sanchez will be back in.
Yeah.
And you're going to end up in this carousel of goalies. West Ham, 2 great keepers. I'm talking of London teams.
Yeah.
Here. Then you're also going downwards. So you're looking at Palace.
Yeah.
No, you can't go there. Fulham, great keeper in Leno, and he's not going to go do all that again. So when you look around, like Man United aren't going to come in for him.
No.
City aren't going to come in for him. Liverpool, Chelsea is the one.
Yeah.
But realistically, he has to almost go to Luton
or
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, Leicester coming up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
it's a jump down. Like
and I know he loves all that. Like I know he's keen on that. But I mean, once you've played a Champions League game,
yeah.
In the chat, they think West Ham could be a good fit. I do, but their goalie is
Areola. Yeah.
He might be one of the best keepers in the league.
Yeah.
It's honestly really tough. And again, you do think about personal life. For example, Havertz joined Arsenal because he obviously wanted out of that sinking ship.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Also, he didn't want to move house.
Yeah.
Declan Rice didn't want to move house. London is a draw.
Yeah.
And again, he's just had a small child. He's got family there. But he is a northern lad. He's moved around. So I don't think it's necessarily a definite he has to stay in London.
But in the world we're in now, where it's more about the squad than it is the starting 11. Like the depth is more important than anything now.
Yeah.
He gets to be part of what we're doing at Arsenal.
Yeah.
No matter whether he's playing like Champions League, Premier League, if he has to play Carling Cup, the random Brentford game, I guess he won't do that again.
Yeah.
I'd
tell you what, Brentford is the team that I think he can go.
That's good shouts. Go the opposite way, yeah.
I genuinely, there was a part of me, I'm sorry to interrupt that, but I thought the other day, I was like, would you take a deal that was Tony and Raya to Arsenal and then Nketiah and Ramsdale to Brentford? But it's not a straight swap. We also give money. But I mean, Eddie's got to be worth 30, 40 million.
Yeah.
Ramsdale's got to be worth 30, 40 million. So that's 80 million.
Yeah.
They're looking at 60 million for Tony. They're also looking at 27 million for Raya.
Yeah. So it's a small chunk of money.
It's 10 million plus the swap, really. I know people would say that's a bad deal for Brentford, but I mean, you get 10 million, but Tony wants out anyway.
Yeah.
But you get a striker like Eddie. I think at Brentford, he might score more than Tony. I genuinely do.
I think.
And I know they've got a keeper in. I think it's Flecken. Yeah.
Very good.
But I mean, Ramsdale could fancy himself as thinking, I could overturn that.
Is it a case, though, where he goes in and then he has to then fight for a place again, though? Because Flecken is decent.
I think there's no club that has just such a bad keeper that you're definitely going to overturn it. So he's got to have a confidence. He does have a confidence because I genuinely think there is a chance that he stays.
Yeah.
Because he wants to make a point.
I'd rather he stayed. I want him there.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to then dip into like third choice goalies or have to then go look for another good backup goalie.
Well, Karl Hein is very good.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he's just ready to be that next guy because Runnelson's gone now, thank God.
Yeah. Weird.
But to find a keeper that does what Raya does, to be your backup, you're going to have to go spend 30, 40 million, which is more than Raya.
Yeah, you're not going to find that.
And the drop off from Raya to the next keeper can't be as dangerous. Like we saw it with Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Ramsdale was our keeper all last year in a title race. But still, there was a drop off at the Brentford game that caused panic across the whole team. Yeah. So I don't know.
I can only hope that they're drilling into Hein as a young up and coming goalie. Like what Arteta wants from a goalkeeper. That is obviously what they're doing. So maybe that is the case. Maybe Hein, drilled from a young age, doesn't have the concentration issues maybe that Ramsdale has, is the option.
Yeah. In the chat, they think Ramsdale we got to sell.
I understand. Yeah, I kind of, I'm on the fence a little bit. Like, I want to sell him, but I think there is just a part of like, why wouldn't you just stay? Fight for your place. We all know what his issues are. Like, he's even said it. His lack of concentration, things like that. It's a personal thing. He can work on that.
Yeah.
There's things he can work on. He may not knock Raya off, but why not be part of that squad that is on an up big time? One of the best teams in England now. he's only going to go down.
I think he's been unreal as far as like locker room, because you can see every time a player comes off the field,
Yeah,
he's the first to go, clap their hand or high five them. He does like Havertz's celebration to him.
Yeah.
In the game against Brentford, sorry, the celebrations he did. He's just, I don't know, he's just very involved. He's put up another post where he said, "I love this club, I love this team." And again, he is also in a title race. You got to remember, as a goalie, he played the first 3 games. He's played 2 since. If we win the league or the Champions League, he gets trophies.
Yeah,
he's a part of the squad that, and again, Arsenal use their squad, so he won't feel like, like Carl Hein getting a Champions League trophy if we won it.
Yeah,
he'd be like, well,
yeah,
I was there every day. Like you could see yesterday, Raya and Ramsdale embraced after the penalty shootout. But Carl Hein, Raya was looking for him.
Yeah,
because I guess there's something to do with either help with going through the penalties, stuff like that. So it shows you that it's in the NFL. They talk about like the 52-man roster kind of thing. The Premier League, we think of that 11 and a couple subs.
Yeah.
I mean, Hein might have been sat with Raya for weeks.
Yeah.
After every single training session, doing penalties study with him or something. And he was looking for him purposely to go hug him.
They're a team.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when, if we do win something, Carl Hein will feel involved and be like, no, because I helped the keepers get to us. We won a penalty shootout. I helped that.
We've seen him in training. Like they all back each other up. They all compete for that spot.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think he is a weird personality in the sense that I could see him not going, oh, I need out of here.
Yeah.
And then just going, oh, I'll go to Bournemouth, for example. I'm not saying Bournemouth need a keeper, but he's been there before.
Yeah.
But he is also the type that I can imagine him going, I want to play in the Championship.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
His dream is to play in the Champions League. He's played 1 game. He deserved to play a couple more because he got us there. But he's an interesting one. We'll definitely come back to that because in the summer, obviously, a lot's going to happen. And someone was just saying in the chat that who's the ideal striker still? These are conversations we're going to have for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But last night going through, we just made 92 million for making it to the quarterfinals.
Fantastic.
And again, when you look at sustainability, we were talking about last night. When you look at a team like Spurs, they have things like Beyonce concerts, NFL games, things like that, and it helps their bottom line essentially, so that they can spend more money. Tottenham could spend like 300+ million this summer and get away with it because of how much revenue they're making. Arsenal are now starting to sell out the women's games at the Emirates, which is going to be genuinely a joke as far as sustainability because we're talking about 6 NFL games a season and some, concerts plus selling out that stadium once a week. Now you think if Arsenal women starts selling out every week, Emirates sold out every single weekend for 35 weeks a year. So that's 70 times.
That's like 60,000+ every week.
And then you add going deeper in the Champions League. If we go through another round, it's even more money. Therefore, you get to that. This is literally we're doing the opposite of whatever Newcastle are doing right now. They're getting lower down that league because league position also is a massive one. So at the end of the season, if you come second or first, if you win the Champions League and the Premier League, the money is like this. You're selling out the women's games, the men's games, the money goes up. You sell out a Killers concert or an Arctic Monkeys concert, the money goes up. Newcastle are massively in a struggle at the minute because they're selling out the stadium, but they're getting lower in that league. There's no European money, and they're going to have to sell some players. So it's really putting a stop to their process. So as far as strikers go, the further we go, the more like interested other forwards like Oisman and people like that are going to be to the project because they're going to go, wow, I went out at the round of 16. They're playing Madrid or whoever we end up playing. So there's an allure to that. Plus the cash flow as it goes further gets bigger, so you can do bigger bids. So therefore, a swap deal with Tony and Eddie and stuff like this doesn't exist as much. And you go, oh, we're going to sell Eddie to West Ham for 30 million, but we're going to go buy Oisman or Vlahovic or someone. I don't know who the perfect forward is because I think Havertz makes the team play better being centre forward. I thought Jesus had an amazing cameo last night, but when you look at Havertz and him as the options, again, if Oisman is there and you've got Martinelli, Trossard, Jesus, Havertz, Saka, Oisman, and you can rotate any 6 of them, then you're joking. That's unreal depth. Like, no one has that depth.
That is also the steps you've got to take in a position we're in now with being a Champions League team. Like you have to have those players. Like when you look at the front 3, you have to have those players that on paper, a lot of like kids now watch Champions League. They know these big names. They know the Champions League players. having those kind of players in your team, it just changes everything.
And again, we talk about sustainability, selling those shirts.
Yeah.
You know, Oisman with the mask, he's
Yeah.
a very recognizable player in the world. You know, it would be crazy. Someone's laughing at the idea of us getting them, but hey, hey, I think we might.
Weirder things have happened.
Weirder things have happened, and it's weird because we've got such a what's the word for someone who not inferiority complex. You know, when you don't believe you should be where you are.
Imposter
syndrome. We're trying, you know, if you've listened to this podcast since the start of the season to now, we've had to deal with it along the way. For example, last night, I didn't feel confident about winning.
No.
Because I watched the first leg. Then I didn't feel confident about winning the penalty shootout. Then we won it. But then you zip back to the Community Shield. I didn't feel confident about beating Man City. But then we went to a penalty shootout. When you got a penalty shootout, we're definitely not winning this. Then we won it.
Yeah.
Last year, we're not really in a title race. Then we were 4 points off the lead at the end.
And we were top for a majority.
And literally, they said it last night. You're in the Champions League quarterfinals now.
Yeah.
And you're top of the league with 10 games to go.
Eventually, the confidence has to push the imposter syndrome to the side.
And all of a sudden, when 3 years ago, when people would say Oisman, and I think someone, Cheeky Monkey just asked, "Are you on Spotify?" Yes, we are. We're Gunners Are Us podcast, like Toys R Us, but it's Gunners Are Us. We're trying to grow because we joked about, I think it was 2 years ago, we were joking, Calvert-Lewin could change our team.
Yeah.
We're so far beyond that point.
Yeah.
Because, as we move on from this Porto game, which, I think Raya had a legendary performance because of that penalty shootout. Because when you think of the magnitude of knockout football in the Champions League and how long we've waited, we're going to remember that game for one reason. Over 2 legs. David Raya.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is what makes you a legend at a club. Because when you do things that have not been done before or not been done for 20, 30 years, that is the moments that you kind of are waiting for to, push you to that next level.
Well, our confidence is growing game by game. It's not even like season by season now. It's like we said, we're talking about Raya in such a positive way now, just because of that game last night and obviously how he's played in the last few weeks or this season so far. It's game by game. There's a game by game. Our confidence is going to grow. Imposter syndrome moves to the side. Obviously, as Arsenal fans, we're always going to have that little bit of like humility, like where we don't want to accept that we are in the position we're in. But eventually, we've got to actually just enjoy that we're in the position we're in, and take it for what it is. And if we do get like world-class players, it's because of the work we're doing, and we are building. And it wasn't a fluke last season. We are proving that we are able to do these things, like the Porto game. That was a real challenge. Came out on top. We've gone through to the quarterfinals now. What I would like to bring up, because I think the draw is this Friday.
Yep.
In terms of who you want,
I will be doing an instant reaction to that as well.
Okay, because I think you're gonna be on and I'm not gonna be here, so I'm gonna kind of give my bit on that.
Yeah, and in the group they've just said a lot of Arsenal fans have been saying they want Madrid.
Yeah,
it's the one I've been saying. I don't know why. Carry on with your thought. I agree. I don't know why.
It's the same thing. I'm on the fence. Like we talked about it briefly last night. It'd be nice to get like a PSV or someone like that, but I think it'd be very similar to last night. I think you get the Champions League, but you want to play the big teams. Like you want to really test yourself. And like you also said earlier, when you play teams like Madrid, PSG, they're going to play open. So it is going to be a free-for-all. It's not exactly going to be like you're trying to knock down a wall like we did last night.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be whoever the best team is going to win on the night. And that's what I want from the Champions League. I want to see us take on the best teams all the way to the final. And if we beat them, we beat them. If we lose, fair play. We lost to a world-class team. We're not there yet. That's what I want. Big Champions League night. Madrid, PSG. Who else is left? Man City, it wouldn't necessarily feel like Champions League to me because that's obviously a league game. It's more the PSGs and the Madrids. That's what I want. Or Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona looked really good last night, but I just don't want City. Yeah. That's the only one. And mainly because it feels more like a Premier League. It will feel like a Champions League night, but it's different. It doesn't feel quite European-y.
You want to play teams you don't get to play.
Yeah. But there's not a team in there that we can't beat over 2 legs. And again, the imposter syndrome feels like I just said something crazy. But I mean, we've already beaten City this year.
Yeah.
If we win 1-0 at home and draw 0-0 away from home, we can get through that.
Yeah.
And City are the best team in there. No mistake about it. They are the best team in the world.
Yeah.
I watched Madrid the other day, they looked really poor. I watched Inter, they looked really poor even with a win.
Yeah.
Barcelona looked good last night, but they've been very dicey. PSG are Mbappe. So
yeah.
PSG, I think, would be a really interesting one.
That'd be fun.
Because they're so open. They would allow us to play, and they might not realize that we're actually very good going forward, if that makes sense. Whereas I think they will score as well, because I think seeing Mbappe versus Saliba as well, I think would be a really cool.
That's what I want. I want to see matchups. I want to see teams that we don't get to play, players we don't get to play. Saka in there shaking hands with Mbappe. Mm-hmm. Those are the things I want. Bayern Munich would be.
I think Bayern Munich would scare me. I think as far as who I don't want, I think it's City and then Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Madrid should be there really.
Yeah.
But it's more the excitement of getting to play at the Bernabeu.
Yeah.
And things like that, and seeing all that again. So I don't know. Again, on Friday, you can download us on iTunes and Spotify. We will be doing. I'll be doing an instant reaction to the draw because it's big. We got to take all our moments when we can.
Well, this could be the last draw we see for 20 years.
Yeah, who knows? Might not be in there next year anyway. But what we're gonna do is we have a slight break here. Hey, on TikTok, you're not going to see anything. But on the podcast, we have a little break from our sponsors from SeatGeek.
Shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring. We recently became a brand ambassador for them. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. They have a 0 to 10 score on each ticket to know if you're getting a good or bad deal. Green is good, red is bad. Plus, our listeners get $20 off their first ticket purchase with our code TBA Wrestling. Click the link in the description to download the app. Remember code TBA Wrestling. Thanks again to SeatGeek.
And now we're back.
I think last week someone thought we'd froze in the chat because we stayed very still.
We moved our shoulders just so you knew we're still there.
Yeah.
We are back. Thank you, SeatGeek. Obviously, TBA Wrestling is the promo code if you are buying any tickets. But the second half of this show, I wanted to kind of get away from the Champions League a little bit because I'll get back on that on Friday and talk a little bit of the title race as well as Prediction League. So before we get into Prediction League, we'll do a little word. We played Brentford. Obviously, so much has happened this week. We played Brentford. We scraped past them 2-1. We've kind of mentioned parts about it. I don't necessarily want to talk about the game.
Yeah.
It's more about the title race because City and Liverpool had a heck of a game on the Sunday. 1-1.
Wild.
Should have had a penalty at the end. I'm convinced. A Claymore to the throat in the box apparently is just not enough.
I'll be happy that they didn't get it though.
I'm very happy with the draw. It was tough. I think the worst case scenario, everyone was saying the worst case scenario is City winning. Because City will probably just, and they still will. I think they might beat us and then just win 9 games in a row after that and just end the season 30 points out of 30 and just win the league.
Probably.
But when you look at the run-in for Liverpool, it looks a lot more doable.
Yeah.
So if they had won that one, I don't know if they would have been stopped. So I think in hindsight, I think the draw was the perfect one just to see him drop 2 points. Because the difference between us being top and them being there is they've drawn more games. We've lost more games.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to, draws are the killer. Our friend Bruno, who's on the Man United pod, he always says draws are the killer because 1 point's basically 0 points.
Yeah.
So you might as well lose 3 and win 3 as opposed to drawing 6 because you're still up on points.
Yeah.
So sometimes the draws are the killers. So draws are good. I'm happy for them to draw 3 or 4 more games. And even if we lose a couple, we win more. You know?
And the goal difference will help a lot.
The goal difference has really been helpful. But to watch it, to watch what Klopp has done at Liverpool with that group, they have no right to be in that title race. The injuries they've had, and I know we've all joked about it and said, "Oh, we've all had injuries." I've not seen a team that depleted for this long, and sustain it. And we're still saying, like, I don't know if they'll lose another game.
No,
they've got not their first choice back goalie. No. They haven't got their first choice back 4. They haven't got anything close to their midfield 3. They haven't got their best player until now. It is mad that Klopp somehow he gets so much juice out of something.
You know, the youngsters he's bringing in, they know the system. They know what they're doing.
Can you imagine playing City in a game like that? They should have won, by the way. They should have won comfortably.
Yeah.
The thought of, going against City in a title race like we did last year. We did it last year with Holding.
Yeah.
That was the difference. We had no Holding, no Partey.
Yep.
And we just couldn't compete.
Yeah, it's not the same. That's what the depth is. The depth isn't necessarily world-class players coming off the bench. It's even the youngsters that know the system. They know they can jump in, they can get it done.
Yeah.
And Bradley, Unreal. Like, I haven't said it on the podcast yet, but that kid is unreal. They found a key there to moving Trent to the midfield easily.
It's just really. I think I've just been really impressed with it. I really don't want them to win the league because we'll never hit the end of it. But I also don't want City to win the league, which obviously means I want to win the league. I don't think we'll win the league. I think the running is too tough.
Yeah.
For us. Again, could be imposter syndrome that I believe that we can't beat. Like, I look at Wolves away and go, well, we're going to drop points.
Yeah.
I can't look past that. Whereas when I look at City and they've got Tottenham away, I go, yeah, they'll beat them.
Yeah.
Even though in the history shows they lose to Tottenham away.
Yeah.
So these kind of weird situations like that, I can't get my head around. So I think what will be.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the season. But as far as the tar race, there's a point between 1 and 3. We haven't had a 3-horse race like this before. We haven't had 3 teams over 60 points at this point before. There is a chance that all 3 teams get over 90 points.
That's wild.
And that is wild.
I'm going to say now, just so it's on record, this isn't me getting too confident, but I have a real feeling we're going to win the Premier League on goal difference.
Well, I'm going to be honest. The way my heart reacted to watching that Porto game, I don't think I could deal with the last day of the season and coming down to goal difference.
And we're waiting for like Liverpool, Man City not to score one more or to concede one more.
Yeah. We got Adam Burton, 88, said you've got brutal fixtures. Yeah. We've got, at home, we've got Everton, Luton, Chelsea. There's another one. I can't remember who it is. Don't remember. And then away from home, we've got Wolves. We've got Man City.
Yep.
Tottenham,
Man
United.
Oh my goodness!
These aren't given fixtures, Brighton away.
Yeah.
Again, I know that City have got things like Brighton away and Tottenham and stuff like that, so they could drop points. Yeah. But when you look at Liverpool's, it just looks so doable, and they're getting stronger as the season goes. It's kind of been the talk of their season because as the game goes on, they get stronger because it almost brings the stronger players off the bench.
Yeah.
As the season's gone on, they're getting stronger because the actual players are coming back.
The way they're performing, they're the team in my mind that are gonna.
Yeah, I can't see much going wrong for Liverpool here. They just don't. No one seems like they could wobble, but we feel like we will.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't really.
We have the opportunity to wobble, but also, do we not take confidence in what we have done recently, in the fact that we've scored the most goals, conceded the least goals? Does that continue, or is it a part of us saying now that can only last for so long, and it's not going to continue?
Honestly, this star race coming back because we got 5, including tonight, 5 games this weekend.
Yeah,
so 4 this weekend, 1 tonight. Then the FA Cup, then it's international.
Yeah,
Arsenal have 2.5 weeks off now.
Wow.
Which last time we had a break like this, we came back and won 8 on the bounce. So maybe this is good.
Yeah.
But beyond this international break, this is where it's going to get interesting because we've got quarterfinals of the Champions League and the last 10 games of the league. This is going to be an unstoppable train, essentially, going forward, that you're not going to have time to think. It's going to have to be get every single point, every single goal, every single moment has to be perfect for you to get anything out of either the Champions League or the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mini season, I think, in this last 10. Because obviously we'll be back next Wednesday. I've got this Friday, we're going to do an instant reaction to the Champions League draw.
Yep.
But next Wednesday, we won't be previewing anything and we won't be reviewing anything Arsenal-based. So what we'll do is we'll probably try and get involved with a little bit of making our idea for the last 10.
Yep.
So like looking at the fixtures, actually kind of seeing where we think what's going to happen, previewing that, and a little preview of what you're going to get in the summer, which is going to be Positively England.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to change the name of the show, but I mean, we're going to continue through the summer, obviously.
It's going to be a fun summer.
But we're going to talk about Euros and things like that. And then there's the transfer window and then rate the season, how it ends, things like that.
Yep.
So we're not going to stop, but next week might be the start of, a little Positively England.
Yeah.
Which is where we're going to talk a bit more about the international side.
Because in a matter of months, we're all going to be wearing shorts and we're all going to be getting home from work to watch the early game in the sun. It's going to be lovely.
It's going to be very lovely.
Barbecues.
It's going to be very lovely. So title race is out of control.
Yep.
The Premier League is back. I'm gonna somewhat whiz through these.
Yeah.
Because they're not the most fulfilling looking fixtures I've ever seen.
Luckily, none of them really hurt us this weekend.
that's the benefit because we weren't playing. I was so worried that City and Liverpool, even if they, draw or win or whatever, I don't like the idea of games in hand because it just physically looks wrong.
Yeah.
And then you go and play City, and if you lose that, it just extends. Even if you've got that game in hand, it feels wrong. But nothing really is to do with the top of the table. There's this tiny little moment of top four because Villa and both Spurs play.
Yeah.
And that's heating up because obviously Spurs smashed Villa.
That was wild.
Unai Emery changing his tactics when he's 5 points clear of someone in top four. We've seen that before.
Been there.
We've seen that before. And we said this at the start of the season when everyone was like, he might be the best manager in the league.
Yeah.
No one said that.
We thought that a while back.
Yeah. Guess what? We've experienced this. We've also been in the top four with 10 games to go and absolutely obliterated ourselves by changing tactics.
Yeah.
Villa are on course to drop into sixth before the end of the season. I can tell you prediction league wise, last week I got my first win in a long time.
Nice.
You and Simon both got 4. I got 5.
Nice.
I'm up to 117. Simon's up to 110. And you're still in lead with 128. So you're 11 points clear. But again, 10 weeks to go. That is...
It's going to be tough running.
100 games.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's 10 games every week.
Yeah.
And then there's another 5 here.
Wow.
So 105 fixtures to go.
It's a long way. If I blow that, I've really bottled it.
I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to get 105 out of 105.
Woo!
It's not going to happen. Yeah, there's so far to go. It's still neck and neck, really. Even Simon can get back in there. He's 28 behind, but I mean, easily done. So, first game of the prediction league this week is Bournemouth versus Luton. That is tonight.
Is it?
It is. I've already put a build-a-bet on. Solanke 2 shots on target, both teams to score.
I like that.
Yeah, there's not much of a return. It was £1 free build-a-bet.
Bet responsibly.
I'm going to say early doors. I think this is going to be 3-2 Bournemouth.
Ooh.
I think Solanke might get a brace.
Okay.
Luton are never out of a game,
no,
but they seem to lose. So
Bournemouth have been a bit iffy. Like they had a bit of a strong stretch there for a little bit, but they last few games I've watched, I think they've won.
Yeah,
but their performances haven't been great. And considering Luton's how they play, I'm going to go Luton here.
Ooh,
I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Nice.
And I think it'll be Luton 2-1.
1-2.
Yeah.
The next game we're now at the weekend, I believe. I think there's 4 at the weekend, isn't there?
Yeah.
We got Burnley, Brentford.
Okay.
Honestly, some of these games: Burnley, Brentford, Luton, Forest, Fulham, Spurs, West Ham, Villa.
Yeah.
Not to be a non-advertisement for the Premier League, but I mean that is rotten.
That's not fun. West Ham, Villa might be okay.
That is rotten. I don't know. Fulham, Spurs. I think there's an upset there, but we'll get to that. Burnley versus Brentford. Ooh. Burnley and Sheffield United did the unthinkable this week. They nearly won a game. Close. And both of them ended up drawing.
Yeah.
In the last second.
Yeah.
And I think that might be them definitely down.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones, they've hardly won games.
Yeah.
When you've got a game like that and they both throw them away, I think that's mentality wise, I think they're done.
That was their opportunity.
That was the opportunity to actually gain a little bit on everyone around them. And then Luton, for example, 1-0 down, they end up clinging onto a draw at the end, rescuing a draw. That's the difference between Luton and those two. Luton might somehow stay up by
they got the fight.
They're nicking points. They're not losing points. They're nicking points. They're nicking this. They're nicking this. I really don't like Brentford. I think Burnley. I think Brentford are getting better. Tony and Mope is a nice little combination.
Yeah.
With Whistler coming back, I think it's really changed stuff. I think
Mbuemo's back soon, isn't he?
Once they've got Mbuemo, next year, that's what I was thinking with Tony. Obviously, if they kept Tony, that'd be really good. But they're not going to. But if you added an Eddie Nketiah to Whistler and Mbuemo and Mope,
that's decent.
It's not going to be a problem. You know what I mean?
People talk about Tony a lot, not Nketiah as much, but I don't think there's that much difference between the two.
That's I think Tony's a slightly different player. He's more physical.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they both score the same amount of goals.
Yeah, it's just Nketiah
really
gets not talked about as much.
Yeah. We've never seen Eddie Nketiah play a full season
where
he is the main striker anywhere. And I reckon you'll see him score 20 goals. I genuinely do. He just won't score us because he's just not the right fit. It's like Ramsdale. I'd love Ramsdale at Arsenal. He's just not the right fit.
Yeah.
I think Eddie's an unbelievable forward. He just doesn't fit the style.
Yeah.
But Burnley, Brentford, I really like Brentford at the minute. I think this is a 2-1 Brentford win.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with you on that one. I think Burnley. I don't think they've got enough in the tank to get the job done there. I'm gonna go 2-0 Brentford.
Next one is Luton at home to Forest.
Okay.
I think this is 4-3 Luton.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Both of these teams are a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy. I'm trying to hold a cough away. So sometimes I'm like tensing my face.
Yeah.
Luton are good at home.
Yep.
Forest, they're chaotic. I think they have really good players. They don't seem to win a lot of the games that they deserve to win.
Yeah.
I think that will be a chaotic game. But Forest are getting pulled down. They're getting pulled down into that area.
Yeah.
They're very much in trouble, as well as Brentford, another one. They desperately need to win this.
Yeah.
Because they're starting to get close to that area, which is a big worry. And when you look at Thomas Frank being a potential candidate for the next Liverpool manager,
yeah,
ooh.
I'm gonna go draw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play it down the middle with that one. I think it'll be 1-1.
Okay, cool. The next one is Fulham Spurs. I'm going to start. I think Fulham are going to win this 2-1. They had a great performance at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Looks like I put 2-11. 2-1. Spurs are actually better away from home than they are at home, I think.
Yeah.
But I think Fulham look good. Muniz, Iwobi. I put Iwobi in my fantasy team.
Yeah, I've had Muniz for a couple of weeks. He gets me some points.
Yeah, I don't know. I just fancy it. And it would be very Spursy if they were to beat Villa and get within 2 points of top 4 and then lose the next one.
Yeah, I can see that. Fulham do have it in them to really. They like the big games. I don't want to call Spurs big.
This season, Fulham have taken 4 points off of us.
Yeah, I think they turn up to these occasions. I think the Cottage is getting a bit of an atmosphere now because they're seeing some good performances.
Yeah.
They've
almost overtaken Brentford as that awkward mid-table team.
I'm going to go Fulham. I think Fulham will win that. I'm going to go 2-1 as well, same as you. Cool. How about Timo Werner getting a goal this week as well?
Well, the world's gone crazy when that happens. The last game is West Ham versus Villa.
Yep.
West Ham, honestly,
weird.
They nearly lost to, was it Burnley last week? Or Sheffield United, Burnley?
Burnley went like 2-0 up.
Yeah. We smashed them. They hadn't scored in about 6 games at the start of this year.
Yeah.
They were doing all right before that. But then since then, they've had a couple good results and then a couple bad ones.
Yeah.
They were looking at Moyes out, things like that. He brought them their first trophy in 50 years.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, they're right up in it.
Yeah.
They're still in a chase for Conference League and Europa League.
Yeah.
They're still in, the Europa League right now. They're 1-0 down, but I mean, tomorrow night they could do something.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They're just a weird team, and it shows you if they'd even got a couple results in this early run, they'd be right up in that mix where Man United are. So
the lack of consistency.
It's really interesting. What do you think?
I think I'm gonna go first for this one, and I'm gonna go Villa.
Okay.
I think Villa will beat them. I think Villa will come off the back of that Tottenham loss. I don't think Villa will lose 2 on the bounce like that. I think it'd be 2-0 Villa.
0-2. I'm actually going to go devil's advocate.
Yes.
West Ham. I think this is what's that word? The wormer's turn.
Oh, yeah.
Unai Emery is showing his teeth.
Yeah.
And I think he's getting a bit frisky and weird about this. And I think he's going to cost them a lot here. I think this is a 2-1 West Ham win.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Feels weird to do so little games on a prediction.
Yeah, and they're not even big games or anything. Well, they are big for each team involved, obviously, because there's a lot of relegation stuff that could be sorted this week.
Yeah.
Not sorted, but kind of extended.
Yeah.
We've also got a lot of with Spurs, we could be looking at Spurs winning that and Villa losing it, Spurs jumping in the top 4. And it looks like with Arsenal going through, there's going to be 5 teams for the Champions League next year.
Yep.
So
a lot of the Premier League were hoping for an Arsenal win last night. Yeah.
So you think the top 3 might be solidified? It might not.
It's a long way.
Any of us could drop. Like Liverpool could lose 6 in a row. Arsenal could lose 6 in a row.
You never know.
And we could drop down into 4th, 5th kind of area. But as far as that goes, Spurs and Villa look like the front runners to get that top 5.
Yep.
But Man United are just there, and you don't know. What are they going to do? Are they going to jump in there? Obviously, the prediction league is a bit shorter. We've done a lot on Champions League. We've done not a lot, but a little bit on the title race.
Yep.
It's a couple of funny weeks coming up. So obviously, make sure you download our podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Google Pods, anywhere you get your pods. Follow us on TikTok if you're listening to this. And if you're watching it on TikTok, thank you. Please give us a follow and a like and watch some of our videos. We put up 2 videos a day on our TikTok. The interesting thing is the next couple of weeks are going to be odd. I think so. Next week will be 3 days before the international break.
Yep.
like the games.
Yeah.
So we will be a little positively Arsenal. We'll talk about a little bit of the games that happened, let you know who won that week.
Yeah.
As far as our prediction league goes. And then we'll talk a little bit about England, maybe what we think starting 11 is going to be come the Euros, a little bit of talk about how far we can go. Then the week after that, we'll be previewing Man City versus Arsenal. And we'll also know who our, Champions League opponents are, things like that. We have the dates and all that kind of stuff. So a couple weird weeks. Stick with it. We've done a bonus podcast this Monday. We've done a podcast this Wednesday. We've got a bonus podcast coming Friday.
Yeah.
We got the Peppercorn Boys podcast as well. I've podcasted one every day this week. I'll be 4 out of the 5 this week.
You can see us in this room a lot.
This brick wall. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thank you for everyone on TikTok that has joined us for this live. Thank you. We're here every single Wednesday, 10 a.m. English time. If you want to join in every week in the conversation. We don't have an outro today.
I do.
What's the outro for? I don't understand.
Nor did I until about half an hour ago.
Okay. I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, we're not going to have an outro. Go on.
This weekend in Dubai on a beach, Benjamin White will be relaxing, tanning, and ignoring Southgate's phone calls. And not thinking about football at all. So he can come back fresh, pop Doku in his pocket, and we can keep our place at the top of the table. Come on, Benjamin!